Did you see the new news? So 8 hours ago, they released on ESPN. It is no longer a judged fight. Supposedly, they switched it to now it's just the only way you can conclusively win is knockout. Besides that, there is no scorecards or referees to judge the bout.
Well, Justin, I don't know if you noticed, but as a non-sanctioned bout, they're not supposed to have Nevada judges, or not Nevada judges because they're not in Nevada anyway. But they're not supposed to have commission judges because it's a non-sanctioned bout. It's actually very similar to the Jones-Tyson fight in that those judges weren't sanctioned judges; they were provided by the Triller. So I'm sure Showtime's probably going to do something similar, and they will be judging for that fight. What makes it confusing is going to be more for gamblers if they trust that judging to, go and make bets.
I don't think you would.
But this fight's not going a distance anyway, so.
That's true. I don't see it going the distance at all. But who do you have? I gotta hear this one. Who do you have winning the fight? Or if it were to be a conclusive knockout, who do you have knocking out who?
This is one of those fights where I almost don't want to pick a winner because it's such a this is a freak show fight in every sense of the word. When you think that Logan Paul's gonna have such a height and weight advantage on Mayweather, and everybody seems to be okay with that just because Mayweather's a boxer. But what people got to realize is Mayweather hasn't fought in 4 years. And granted, I'm not saying Logan Paul's this great boxer, but he has trained, and he is going to have these advantages on him. And Mayweather is 44 years old, so anything can happen, right? Mayweather could walk into one. It's not like he looks so great against Conor McGregor. I've seen him hit the pads. It's not like he's looked great hitting the pads. And I know I'm the first one to kind of knock down those myths when me and you argue, but I thought he looked a lot slower than prime Mayweather hitting the pads. I guess if I gotta pick someone to stop, I'm still gonna go with the boxer, and I'm still gonna say Mayweather's gonna stop him. But I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way.
Well, I definitely agree with you on that one. I have Mayweather still knocking him out. I just think it's funny, how I've seen a lot of the recent interviews with Logan Paul stating it's not going to distance. He's gonna knock him the fuck out, and I'm just thinking in my head, I was you have trained, because I've seen his videos of his sparring partners. They're literally hand feeding you potatoes. Dudes that never boxed, coming right off the street just to go in the ring, and you put them down to gain confidence. And granted, that's what you need to do anyway with earlier fighters, that you try to build up their confidence. The only serious guy that he trained with in a sparring session, and they removed the video, was Ryan Garcia a few months back. And he even told him, he was like, you have to plan to be prepared to deal with the Mayweather coming in the inside of your guard to box you. And he's like, why do I need to do that? I'm tall. He's not going to get in the inside. So the lack of respect that Logan Paul has for Mayweather makes me think at the end of the day, he's about to get knocked out by Mayweather 100%. And I think it's going to be an inside fight for Mayweather anyway.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Mayweather's going to actually go and try to go inside knowing that he's got a history of hand problems? That's not normally the way Floyd would fight anyone. Do you think he's going to literally go outside his norm? And because Mayweather's always been a counterpuncher, and you're basically saying he's going to be the aggressor now and fight in a way that's totally foreign to him. And bear in mind, he is fighting off of 4 years not fighting, being past his prime.
So I'll give you that. It has been a while since the man's been in the ring, but who's to say he has not been training in the background at his gym?
Did you catch the fight last weekend?
Oh man, do I got some shit to go off on. Alright, before I go off on this, man, tell me what you think about Devin, Haney, and Linares.
I thought going into this fight, Devin Haney had a lot of unanswered questions. He's been categorized as the email champion unfairly. It's not his fault, right? But that's what he's been categorized as. He was categorized as not being a big puncher, taking on dangerous opponents. And I still have those questions.
Oh yes, thank you, Lord. I thought it would be a opposite where you would go with it. I feel the same way when it comes to David Haney. I think what saved him was the fact that he got out front early in the fight in front of Jorge, where he piled up the points, and it prevented him from digging himself out. Because there was a couple rounds, I'm gonna get into it, where I thought Linares should have kept the pedal to the metal and he let it slip. Because I thought Linares could have won that fight in those last 2 rounds. But Haney is no way, in my opinion, he has not proven to me that he is an elite of the elite yet. He fought an elite boxer, because Jorge Linares is no pushover. He is that man is dangerous. He got hands. He has power. He has speed. However, the only thing that saved him that night was the fact that he piled up the points early. That's it.
I thought he fought a perfect fight for 9 rounds. For 9.5 rounds. He fought a perfect fight. I was very impressed with him. I thought his jab looked on point. I thought he took a lot of chances during the fight. Because Linares, this is where I will disagree with you. He's not Linares anymore. He's not an elite boxer anymore. And it showed. Because, the old Linares would have got him out of there. But he got hit, and this is where I feel like your metal is tested, right? When you get hit. And I'm not saying that he needed to go balls to the wall again. He piled up points, and you do fight smart. However, the way he hugged it, first off, I thought the referee did a poor job of not giving warnings, point deductions, whatever, those last 2 rounds. But the way he held, it was unchampion-like, where I felt like I thought for a minute I was watching Rocky 4. You remember when Rocky fights the Russian, and everybody's, pro-Russian because they're in Russia. And then as the fight shifts, all the Russians start cheering Rocky. That's what I was watching, because, Haney's in his own backyard. It was as pro-Haney a crowd as you were ever going to get. And towards the end of that fight, they all booed their guy. They booed their guy even when the decision was read. And they knew their guy won the fight. It's just they didn't like the way he conducted himself those last 2 rounds. It just wasn't... It wasn't the kind of fight that makes me want to pay to see you on pay-per-view. It wasn't the kind of fight that makes me respect you as a champion. And it definitely wasn't the kind of fight that makes me feel that you belong in there with the Lomachenkos and the TEOFIMOs in that same sentence. He doesn't. And that's what he was looking to prove himself as. Now, granted, he's probably going to get that fight anyway, because I'm sure TEOFIMO looks at it and it's like, I gotta pick up this belt because no one's calling me the Undisputed Champion, even though I fucking am. But I don't even know how many people are going to buy TEOFIMO's fight coming up. And people put the built-in excuses of it's competing against a lot of things, but I'm not sure how many people were going to buy it even if it was alone on the calendar. I definitely don't know how many people are going to pay for a fight with him and Devin Haney.
I agree with you. It's going to be kind of hard because, I've always said this before. When it comes to that weight class, it's I never looked at it as a money-making pay-per-view weight class. To me, it's the welterweights and above. I never considered 135, 130, anything under 135. I never looked at it as that's the money-making division or a pay-per-view draw division. And a lot of fighters that was at that weight class moved up for that reason. A perfect example of a guy who did it was ADRIEN BRONER. When he dominated that weight class for so many years, he realized he made more money moving up.
Broner's coming back. Broner's coming back.
I know, right? Man. I'm so psyched about it. I don't care what anybody tells me. I always said it to you back in the day. Broner was nasty, and I'm actually excited to hear that, man. I can't wait. But back to the topic at hand. When it came to Haney, I agree with you. I'm 100% on the same page. He did not conduct himself as a champion. So I had it a 4. I gave 4 rounds to Linares. And and the last 3 of which came towards the end of the fight. I will give David Haney, or I keep butchering them. Anyway, Haney, his due where his jab, I will say, was sharp. I won't agree with the commentators. I forgot the name of the commentator that was doing it for PBC. I forgot his name. But
I can't remember who was on the call.
He was saying that he is the best jab in boxing. I was like, get the fuck out of here. David Haney does not have the best jab in boxing. I will say...
But then you saw it.
Yeah,
you kind of started to agree with him.
I understood where he was coming from because he kept Linares at bay for so many rounds like that, especially rounds 1 through 6. He was keeping him at bay. But every time he got touched by Linares, by a hook, he buckled and backed off. He never pushed it. I will give Haney too. Like, I think it was round 5 or 6 where he actually kicked it up a notch, where he started getting more aggressive with the elbowing, the pushing of the back. He was trying to like get it to become like really aggressive fighter with Linares, and I wasn't buying into it. I saw his anger. I saw what they were trying to do with him and how they were trying to say. One of the commentators made a funny comment. They were like, well, look, you don't want to see him, Haney, when he gets angry. When he gets angry, he puts the beats on. And Linares tapped him one time with a short counter hook left. Dude backed off. And I didn't hear nothing out of the commentator's mouth, but they were like literally painting Haney as the like undisputed god in that ring. And then you get to the big round. The round that I literally saw the funniest shit ever in boxing. The last time I saw something funny like that was when ADRIEN BRONER humped Maidana in the back, and fucking Maidana tried to swing him and hit him back for that funny shit that ADRIEN BRONER did. I think it was round 10. Round 10, he made Haney buckle so bad. And that's because he did what he should have done in the very beginning of the fight. Just let his hands go. He did. He hit him a few times. Your man did the 1-2 shuffle, and Linares was like, here you go, sir. Your chair's this way. I was dying in my head. I was like, bro, you just got shitted on in your backyard. You better come out the next round and put this man to sleep. And instead, Linares, I don't know what happened. It's like either he punched himself out or he chose not to. He didn't push the pedal to the metal. And then Haney started to box accordingly, where he started grabbing him more, stop mixing it up like he did the first 9 rounds of the fight. And I was like, bruh, you're making all this work look bad.
Well, I thought, first off, when you say Linares did what he should have did the whole fight, I think Linares wanted to do that the whole fight but just couldn't, and that was a testament to Haney. I thought Haney was the more physical guy that whole fight, to be honest. What I will say is, I felt Haney was supposed to get this guy out of there. But that's what this fight was about. It's just to put a name in your resume that you just got out of there. And he tried, because again, he took a lot of chances throughout that fight with Linares. He remember, Linares going into the fight thought Haney was going to run. And Haney didn't run most of the fight. He actually went and fought in the pocket, took chances.
Yeah, I saw that in
the power wasn't there though. And the thing is, while I think he's a better boxer than TEOFIMO, and to tell you the truth, I don't even know if I should say that, considering TEOFIMO beat the best boxer in that division in VASYL LOMACHENKO. But I still think he has an edge technical wise over TEOFIMO. TEOFIMO's got the pop. I feel like if Linares buckled him, TEOFIMO's gonna blast him out of there. I think Ryan Garcia at this point, while I think he's a better boxer than Ryan Garcia, and he's got more than an excellent chance of winning a fight with Ryan Garcia. But if Ryan Garcia was to smack him around, he'd blast him out of there. What did you think of the comments by Ryan Garcia, considering we were just talking about him a few weeks ago?
Hey guys, if you want to check out the full episode, go ahead and follow us over at anchor.fm/VKOpod, which stands for the Verbal Knockout. We're also available on Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, and we're also available on Radio Public, as well as Copy RSS. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later.